Hello, and thank you once again for tuning in to Seshat's Wisdom's channel. Today, I bring to you a presentation. It's called Seshat's Wisdom, Character Swapping, and How to Prevent It. Now, this presentation goes over other dynamics of character swapping, including the danger level of it, which is destiny swapping. Next slide. What you'll learn, what character swapping is, why character swapping is dangerous, the energetic violation, how you know someone is character swapping you, how to prevent someone from destiny swapping you, what to do if you're currently being destiny swapped. Now, look at this picture. As you can see, the woman, she is beautiful, and you see that ball of light in the center of her chest is her essence. Now notice the woman behind her. That is not her, but that's actually someone else. Yeah, you might say, oh, well, they look alike. No, they are very much different, and they are not the same people. But you see, the person behind her is someone who is trying to destiny swap her. And there's a reason why she kind of looks like her and has her resemblance, even aesthetic somewhat. And there's a reason why the light is coming out and, as you can see, going towards the swapper. Next slide. What is character swapping? Character swapping is the spiritual ritual and act of transposing someone's essence in order to steal their positive destiny, thereby mirroring, then pulling from their karmatic abundance, which will ultimately eject them, the person who is being swapped, from this plane. Note, not to be mistaken for stolen identity. Character swapping is much worse. Next slide. Why character swapping is dangerous. I didn't want to go into too much on that previous slide because there's much to explore and explain. Key points to understand. Your spiritual conception and your spiritual identity. Your spiritual conception, every person enters this realm at a unique moment in time. The stars form a unique configuration on the day that you are born in the sky. Each individual carries a unique spiritual essence. Even identical twins do not share the same spiritual essence. Your life experience contribute to the collective consciousness. In reference to spiritual identity, your spirit is your true identity, not your physical appearance. Many people may look alike physically, but the spirits are different. Only one spiritual essence can exist per person on this plane. Like computer files, two identities cannot occupy the same name. Character swapping attempts to override the original. As stated, just like when you save a file on a computer, if you're using the same name as an existing file, it lets you know, the computer lets you know, and then asks if you would like to override that. And you can say yes or no. Essentially, when you allow someone to character, then destiny swap you, you're telling the universe, yes, this person can override my existence. They replace you and you go away. Now, it's important for you to understand some very key distinctions. Next slide. Key points to understand continued. Character and essence swapping. Character swapping begins with mirroring someone's appearance. That's the first step. The deeper goal is mirroring or accessing spiritual essence. This is comparable to a projection within a highly advanced system. What the spirit holds. The spirit holds your karmatic bank account, elements of your bloodline inheritance, hidden keys connected to abundance and fortune. You see, this is what the swapper is actually swapping from you. It goes deeper than just how you look. Anybody can imitate how you look. They can't imitate your essence. And so you have to understand that the reason why what they're doing is so dangerous is because they are accessing the essential essence of who you are, which is how the universe compensates you. Universal Law 1, abundance. It's naturally yours when you exact your true self and your true purpose on this plane. All right? And it's important for you to understand that when someone is trying to swap your character, that is just the beginning of them doing something that is very, very harmful to you and ultimately harmful to them. Let's continue. I'll explain. Key points to understand concluded. Karma and spiritual economy. Karma binds individuals to repay their spiritual debts. Negative karma, debt, cannot be transferred or stolen. However, positive karma and abundance can be stolen and drained through rituals. Consequences of destiny swapping. Destiny swapping harms both the imitator and the original person. Both parties may experience spiritual loss or imbalance. The final outcome is severe karmic imbalance, which leads to heavy karmatic debt. Possible outcomes include ejection from this plane, and then the only alternative after that, depending on how much karmatic abundance was taken from you, you'll either go to heaven realm 1, or if you're in the negative, you'll go to hell world 1. On my site, seshatswisdom.com, I have posts about the different levels of heaven and the different levels of hell. Now, when somebody is destiny swapped, it's not guaranteed that the person whose destiny was swapped will get another chance to reincarnate. That's why I say heaven realm 1 is the only other option. And then, if to begin with this individual entered their new life and only had a certain amount of karmatic abundance, then if they were so depleted that they're in the negatives, Hell World 1 will be their only option. They won't be able to gain karma to access another life. You see, in order for you to enter and reincarnate into another life, you must have enough karmatic abundance to do so. The reason why I said Heaven Realm 1 may be the only alternative for someone who was swapped is because due to the fact that you did not, or the person who was swapped did not do their due diligence to protect their precious God essence, they may not be considered to enter into another life to gain understanding to the one mind and the collective. You see, it's up to the fates and the other principalities to decide that, because you will not be able to reincarnate if those powers don't believe you're going to add anything new, since in the life you had, you let somebody mirror your essence. But again, that's all happening in judgment. Future Future presentations will show what happens to a person who decides to pass on. Yeah, I said decide. That's coming too. But let's get through this. The energetic violation. Which universal laws are violated? We are all here either on assignment or to spiritually evolve through our own unique paths and experiences. Character swapping prevents a soul from living its authentic truth. Like a computer system override, this disruption interferes with the natural order and contributes nothing to the one mind. Ultimately, nothing can truly be gained by taking another person's path because of the universe, and because the universe placed each individual here for their own purpose. Since we are all connected, such a violation can create a domino effect, impacting others who are meant to benefit from your existence. Character swapping violates spiritual law and leads to karmatic consequences, leading the swapper, not just the victim, leading the swapper subject to karmatic debt or reincarnation, starting all over again. The universal laws that are violated: law number 21, eternal light; law number 4, akasha; law number 63, the law of one mind; and law number 67, the law of perfection. Note, the definitions of each law is available at seshatswisdoms.com. I'm not going to read you all of them in this presentation. I urge you to visit my website and read them yourself. But I also want you to note the swapper, right? Now, the swapper is subject to karmatic debt, but you know what's so unfair? They may or may not be able to re-enter this plane and have another life, right? But more often than not, they do. Because whether or not they went by their own design or yours, they still lived a certain destiny and collected information for the one mind. And so they still did their job, but they didn't do their own assignment. They did somebody else's. Okay? So they still collected information for the one mind, but did somebody else's assignment. But regardless, they still provided some insight and input. And so what's so ironic and messed up is that they will have a better chance of getting to be in reincarnation to enter this plane again for another existence. But you may not be. You see how serious this is? This is not a game. This is something that will elevate to the spiritual level and affect you beyond the physical. And there's a reason why people want to come to this plane. And I will go over that in future slides as well. Or presentations, rather. Next slide. How you know someone is character swapping. Mind you, I said character swapping. It's not the same as destiny swapping. Character swapping is a prerequisite of destiny swapping. So the person obviously will be dressing, talking, walking, smelling, looking, and generally mirroring certain aspects about you that not everyone has. And it's just the basics of your character. That's the basic of character swapping, right? So one can character swap by emulating distinct attributes that make you you. It's the essence, that thing, that one thing that people just can't put their finger on, but it's you. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have an image. It doesn't have words to describe what it is, but it's there. Just like many things in the spirit world that can't be described. You can't see, taste, or touch it, but you can sense it. Your distinct energy blueprint. That is why aesthetic mirroring is not enough to destiny swap, the swapper will and must perform a subconscious ritual in order to siphon and steal your essence. Now, before we go to the next slide, I want you to look at that image. As you can see, that young lady has, really nice style, really cool. She has her unique aesthetic, fine, or maybe it's not unique, right? Anyone can buy an outfit like that. But you see, that's not what destiny swapping is. That's character swapping. All right? You see that woman on the right? That is her. That is what destiny swapping is stealing. Her essence, her royalty, her divinity, her spiritual uniqueness. You see the book on the floor? That's the Akashic Records. That is who she is, her lineage, her bloodline, her essence. That is what cannot be duplicated on this plane. Next slide. So this is how the swapper achieves actually destiny swapping. Okay? Intimate physical contact. And that includes anything beyond touch. It could be this includes touch beyond a simple handshake, like a hug, kiss, embrace, caress, or even touching hair. Note, handshakes are traditionally professional gestures and are not long or intimate enough to transfer essence. Also, handshakes allow for adequate distancing, which avoids invading personal space. Okay, now before we go to the next slide, review this image as well. As you can see, there's a picture, but it goes beyond just mirroring your makeup, mirroring your fashion, even what you eat. It goes beyond that. They have to physically be able to touch you or be in your presence. But intimate touch, touching somehow. So just note that. They're all up on you, the swapper, all up on you, all touching your hair, offering to do your hair, offering to do your nails, wearing your clothes. Okay, as you can see, there's clothes in this image, sharing food. Next slide. How they achieve destiny swapping continued. All right. As I mentioned before, close proximity, standing very close within someone's energetic field or personal space more than once. That can create an energetic merging, which encourage energy siphoning. The key is intent. Allowing someone into your home is considered a powerful energy transference as well, unless your home is protected. All right, I'll be doing future videos about protecting the energies of your home, because your living space carries your personal energy and even research on you. Someone can be very observant and just look at the things that you have in your house and collectively assume who you are. The swapper can also take items you touched for ritual use. Private one-on-one interactions are especially effective for destiny swappers. Spending time together privately, like meals, eating for any occasion, breakfast, lunch, dinner, brunch, a sandwich in the park, anything of that sort, to be intimate with you one-on-one. Or outings alone can deepen energetic connections for extracting one's essence. They can say, hey, let's go for a walk or something. Okay? Defeating the competition. Someone who repeatedly insist on spending time alone with you rather than in groups. The swapper will compete and try to break up your friendship with your soul best friend or best friends, someone you are the closest with in the group even. Eventually, though, the swapper will win over your friends when you show up together at events. You're always together. He's always trying to be by your side, to the point where you go places and people just associate that person with you. It may even get to the point where if the swapper does something, it reflects back on you, kind of. So showing up together at parties, public events, So people will associate the swapper with you until you're phased completely out altogether. And then the people, meaning friends and anyone you're associated with, would prefer seeing them over you. If you can't make it, cool, so-and-so's coming. As time goes, you will notice the swapper trying to take even more from you. Maybe your partner. Inviting them to functions, luncheons, events, and creating ones. Just so your friends and the people you are associated with can participate in. And then purposefully not letting you know. That is a means of destiny swapping. You can see how subconsciously that person with those methods are trying to replace you. But then you don't know. You just think you're being nice, and you just think that person is a fan. And a lot of you ladies and even men let your ego run you into a destiny swap, because some of you are flattered by when people are taking your style, pretending to be you. You're like, oh, that person just wants to be me. Okay, they will be in a second if you don't take heed. Next slide. How they ultimately achieve destiny swapping continued. The subtle art of the swapper. Now here's what the swapper will do. Share personal items. As mentioned before, clothing, makeup, hair, accessories, jewelry, electronics, or other belongings may carry personal energetic associations which she or he can symbolically copy to emulate you. Gift exchanges. Giving or accepting gifts can create symbolic or energetic agreements. The greater the gift, the greater the energetic exchange. If something feels excessive, politely decline or return it. Some gifts carry symbolic commitments. You must use discernment. Okay? When something is too much, you know it. Do not accept it. Say, this is too much. I can't accept this. Right? Favors and services. Dinners, clothing, hair services, projects, or personal help can also function as an energetic transaction. Doing someone a favor without even telling them. And then, oh, I just wanted to surprise you. I'll get to how to remedy this. Let me continue. Lastly, free services. If someone does something for you for free, acknowledge it and affirm they did not have to do that. It frees you of karmatic debt. Avoid future promises, saying you'll return the favor later, creates an energetic obligation. Remember, nothing is truly free, and I discuss this in my book, The Tao of Riches, available on seshatswisdom.com, SESHATSWISDOM.com. Exchanges may occur through money, time, energy, or karma. Now, mind you, this is what you do. If someone does something for you and you did not ask and it's too much, you either return the object, or if it's a service or if it's something that you cannot return, you say, you acknowledge it, but then affirm, thank you, but you did not have to do this. And it frees you of karmatic debt. And if they say, oh, I just wanted to, which more than likely they will, you are free of karmatic debt to them. See, ultimately, they're siphoning your essence and your karma. When an individual destiny swaps you, they're not swapping anything negative. They're swapping all your good karma and all your good fortune. That's what they're extracting. Because essentially what your essence is your God force. That's your abundance in this world. That's how the universe acts in universal law 1, abundance. So when you're your authentic self and you walk confidently and you do what you love and you are who you are and you know who you are, bloodline wise too, who your ancestry is, things of that nature, the universe will give you abundance in any form, not just money, so you can live, because what you are doing is you are collecting an experience for the one mind, and the one mind is a universal law. Next slide. Now, here is the meat of the presentation, especially for those of you who believe that you are currently being destiny swapped, not character swapped, because I already explained to you that destiny swapping can only happen with individuals who are close to you. Okay? So to prevent destiny swapping, you first acknowledge, then you distance yourself from them, you pay for or use currency in the relationship, and I'll explain that later. And last but not least, you create your prayer, your affirmation through universal law or to whoever is your denomination, affirming that your essence is yours and no one else's. Next slide. To stop destiny swapping, the first one mentioned, acknowledge. Acknowledge what is happening and rebuke what is going on. Do not outright tell the swapper that you know what they're doing, because they'll only change their... Instead, acknowledge what is happening and proclaim through universal law that your essence and divinity is yours and yours alone. If you are a different denomination, if you decided to follow a religion, then you would proclaim that to the divine deity that you represent or that you praise or worship. And you would also ask that divine deity for protection against that. Note, the affirmation that you create through universal law must affirm through the spirit first. Then you continue the process of saving your soul essence. On my site, seshatswisdom.com, laws 21, 4, 63, and 67. Read those, and you can create your own affirmation from them. And you can take those definitions, copy and paste into ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT to create an affirmation or prayer rebuking destiny swapping. And you can put the definition of destiny swapping in there too to help ChatGPT help you create an affirmation or prayer rebuking destiny swapping with those universal laws. And you can easily get one that way. And ChatGPT will condense it as much as possible, so it's easy for you to remember. You have it, you read it, and you wake up every morning and you proclaim your divinity. You do not let anyone take your precious essence that is yours and yours alone. Next slide. To stop destiny swapping. Distance, that was the second method. Distance yourself. Gradually begin distancing yourself from the swapper by declining invitations, stepping away from their projects, limiting communications, and especially limiting physical contact. If you do respond, keep conversations brief and let them know you are occupied and cannot make whatever engagement they're trying to invite you to. If she or he questions your availability or accuses you of changing, calmly tell him or her you are unsure what they mean, and that if they feel slighted, he may choose to distance themselves as well. then step back and watch the demon ignite. Yes, negative demon energy. No, the swapper may become angry and begin revealing their true feelings at this point. If they still want access, they may briefly concede and give space, only to attempt to reconnect quickly. In many cases, they will retaliate by subtly using information you shared as leverage to regain access to you. They may also influence others in your circle by misrepresenting your change in behavior. Do not be shaken by that. Handle everything with calm, class, and dignity. It is a small price to pay for protecting your soul essence and not allowing yourself to be deleted from this plane. At this point, this is serious. And so they can stay mad. And I want to let you know, too, I know I say he and she, her, him, but collectively, everyone. You see what I'm saying? Like, all pronouns. Because the reality is, don't be mistaken. It does not have to be one female trying to destiny swap another female. It can also be a male trying to destiny swap a female. You see what I'm saying? It's essence. Essence doesn't have a gender, really. They're taking your precious energy, your divine right. And so keep that in mind. Don't think that this guy, as a woman, for example, this guy who just, your besties and, he just loves everything about you and he does my hair and he just this. But then suddenly you notice he's doing the same thing you're doing. And I guess you're thinking, he's just a fan or he's just idolizing me. No. Don't think that gender has anything to do. Male can destiny swap a female, vice versa. Next slide. To stop destiny swapping, pay. Now, this is the method that I knew I had to explain in more detail, because I know you're probably thinking, I'm not paying anybody anything to do anything. No, that's not what I mean. Automatically, when money is involved, any transaction becomes non-spiritual. A basic business transaction between two people or a business entity. Okay? Swappers can only swap one soul at a time. They can swap with another person once they drain or replace their first victim. No, just to get this out of the way, tithing by use of money was never the original way. Cash was never requested. It was actual goods. And so now that we got that out of the way, when cash is involved in anything, it is automatically business. And I will be doing a follow-up storytime video for this presentation to apply what I'm saying to realities. I'm going to use actual celebrities that are in shows, reality TV stars, things like that, because one in particular is doing this, right? But I'm just going to do that to show as an example. Me personally, I do have instances where someone tried to character swap. And like I said, character swapping is the prerequisite to destiny swapping. So if that person cannot properly character swap you confidently, then it's not going to work. And so the reason why this is kind of like making me chuckle is because I dress very eclectically. And I remember a girl trying to mirror my style, and she looked absolutely ridiculous, and people told her. But also too, she wasn't close to me. I knew she wasn't close to me. I didn't hang out with her. She wanted to. I just did not have a good feeling. Again, that intuition needs to be strong, and y'all need to build that up. All right. And so, yeah, she never got to the destiny swapping stage. She just, was character swapping. And more often than not, people can call others out for copying your style. That's why I say don't let it get to the stage where they can actually destiny swap you. And so now what I'm talking about right now is you're in it. You're being destiny swapped and how to get out of it. So yes, let me give you an example. Say, for instance, this girl or guy, whoever, says, yeah, let's go to lunch, right? Okay, fine, let's go to lunch. You finish lunch and you say, okay, let me pay for this. Professional, all of a sudden. Because the intent that you are paying is not in any other means but business. And so now when you put that money in, the intent for you paying is for you to know and only you to know. You don't have to let her know that you're paying so that this transaction is going to be business and the spiritual will not be there, because what they're going to do is pay for the meal. And then that is, again, reflecting on your karma, reflecting on your destiny, and allowing an intimate essence exchange. If they do your hair, not hair, because you can control that. If they want to do your hair and touch your hair and do everything, because that's a sly way of them conducting energy transfers, then fine. I'm going to pay you. The minute they pay, or rather the minute you pay, the transaction is not spiritual. Money protects your essence because it can make sure that you're not spiritually obligated to that person for what they do for you, because they exchange the energy for fiat currency. And that's a subconscious thing. Okay? Like, I was going to save this for a video. I still may talk about it in case some people don't want to watch the slideshow. They just want to get straight to the real life examples. But I mean, you still need to know methods, because I won't be taking the time to take real life examples for every single thing. Only prominent ones that I noticed that are in popular media. But I will say, Kim K and Paris. That's an obvious one. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Kim did destiny swap. And no, she didn't destiny swap Paris Hilton, because there are a lot of wannabe Paris Hiltons. Okay. She did not destiny swap Paris Hilton because Paris is still here. Also, wealthy people, again, they have money. Money protects your energetic karma essence. And it also helps you gain karma. You have to know how to use money. And so I know you're like, hush and tell me how, since Kim was trying to act like her, look like her, was in her aura, touching all over her, how is it that Paris is still walking around? It's because she paid Kim as an assistant. Kim worked for her, and Paris has said this out of her mouth on a number of occasions. It's the Kardashian PR team that keeps promoting that her and Paris Hilton were best friends and all that. No, Paris Hilton was best friends with Nicole Richie. Okay? They are best friends, and she said that out of her mouth. Kim K. And there was even an episode on The Rich Life. Remember that reality show with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie? There was even an episode where Nicole Richie referred to Kim as a hoe. Now, that's speculative, but come on now. Don't you think it's a coincidence? Kim worked for Paris as her assistant. She paid. Maybe Paris didn't pay for every single instance. Maybe Kim volunteered. But still, the initial engagement between them was employment. And as long as she accepted pay, which I know Kim did because she hadn't always been rich. And I know that Paris would not take anything from her without compensating her because they weren't best friends. They think of Kim as Paris's makeup artist. Paris Hilton has helped a lot of people in the industry, makeup artists, stylists, designers. She's acquaintances with a lot of industry professionals. She is acquaintances with her assistants. She's had many assistants before and after Kim. Kim was an assistant. Kim was a fashion stylist. Okay? I don't think she styled Paris, but without going too far off the slide, I'm just giving you that instance. Because there's so many people who don't understand, because they're like, Kim mirrored everything. She did a tape. She did everything. No, the reason why Paris is still here, and touched her and everything, but the reason why Paris is still here is because their engagement was initially professional, and it was still professional. She still paid. She still paid. If Kim volunteered to do things for her, okay, well, you're still an employee. And that is how money protects you. And that is how a lot of these rich people out here who are being mirrored, who people copy, because trust and believe, wealthy people emulate them a lot. Okay, they emulate them a lot. They try to dress like them, do their makeup like them, do their hair like them, shop at the same places, even eat the same food, right? But all they can do is character swap. You don't know them. That's why wealthy people are so guarded. I know a lot of people think that they're just bougie and, oh, you're not accessible. That's not the case at all. They have to protect their essence, and they have to read you and know you in order to be in your space. And you also have to be on their level most of the time, because if you're not, then they definitely know that you want something from them. And so, yeah. Money protects you from destiny swapping. You don't have to have a whole lot of it. But the subconscious interactions you have to make sure that you protect yourself. Don't have this person paying for lunch, at least not all the time. Don't have this person doing your hair and not compensating, or even giving them something, even if they say, oh, no, worry about it. And don't have this person buying things for you. Okay, and giving it to you, that's a gift. Give it back or proclaim, you really shouldn't have done this. You really shouldn't have. You do not need to do this. So you won't be karmatically held responsible. And so they also understand that it is business. Next time, ask before you buy things from me and allow me to decide whether or not I oblige it. So let's go to the next slide. To stop destiny swapping, the last method, prayer and affirmation. Prayer is very powerful, and it's a universal law, whether done by you or for you. In this instance, it is not recommended that you consult any outside spiritual consultants to remove or cast anything on you. If you are in the midst of being destiny swapped, time is of the essence, and there has already subconsciously been an agreement to remove you from this plane. At the destiny swap stage, you must utilize prayer. That is the only thing you can do. Prayer for the protection and return of your essence. Claim that your essence is yours and yours alone. Do not act in fear. When you pray and when you affirm through affirmation, state that you are the one and only, insert your name, and that no other shall have your essence. Create a short prayer or affirmation and say it every day until you're completely rid of the swapper. Oh, did I have to tell you to stop being his or her friend eventually? Duh. I mean, you think you can still be in cahoots with the swapper? You'll never, ever be safe. You have to make the hard choices. You can distance yourself from them. And I hesitate to say that even if it's family, because there's some relatives, cousins, even sisters, who will try to destiny swap you. Usually, and I will say this, if it's a relative that they're in your bloodline, and normally this is not a problem with a relative. A relative cannot really steal well, let me correct that, because this has to be across all planes. I'm not saying that a destiny swapper can't be a relative. But what I'm saying, more often than not, they're not relatives. And I would say 90 to 95% of the time, they're not related to you. But if you feel like there is a cousin or even your sister who is trying to swap places with you, you can still use these methods, but it won't work because they're in your bloodline. And I can't explain why yet, but this isn't usually, a relative cannot replace you when they're your bloodline. Your sister can't replace you when y'all are from the same egg. Like okay, I'll that can go. If you want to know more about that, please let me know, and I'll be sure to make some kind of video in regards to a deeper dive of that. There is a universal law, number 71, prayer, that affirms what I'm saying is true about the power of prayer and affirmation. And the full law and definition is available at seshotswisdom.com. One thing to note for this law: anything you desire can be achieved with prayer and focus. When you pray or when you affirm, you must call on a higher power, whether it's what the deity you worship or yourself. If you do not pray to a god, goddess, or deity, then say, by divine right and through grace, because you're invoking your God essence, the same thing that they're trying to remove. That is in itself all you need and powerful. But you need to, but it's controlled by your subconscious. So is your karmatic abundance. And so you have to affirm, because we have our waking mind and we have our subconscious. Your subconscious protects you. Your subconscious is you, but it's a separate part of you. It's hard to explain. It's the highest level of your being. And when somebody is trying to destiny swap, they're trying to take that from you. The energy, not necessarily the part of your essence that is you, but your energy, your abundance. That's what makes it so dangerous. And it's so unfair, but they can't take your debt, but they can take your karmatic abundance. They can't take your karmatic debt. They can take your essence, the way by which the universe compensates you for your existence, for giving back to the one mind. Your trials and tribulations and your experiences, your background, your bloodline, your heritage, everything that makes you you. Not just how you look. And so you affirm that that's yours and that's yours alone. And your subconscious, or the god or goddesses or whoever you consult or worship, will protect that. Next slide. And that concludes this presentation. And I just want to put this out there because there's so much misinformation out there. And it's important to make sure that people are really informed properly. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. And I will have this presentation up for a while. But after a while, it will be members only. So please share this. And I'm not telling you when I'm going to make it a members only video. So share this with anyone who you feel needs to see it. You can watch it as many times as you want. Like, comment, and subscribe. Visit seshotswisdom.com. I put a lot of work into putting as many laws up as possible, along with the definitions. And just take care. Everything will be all right. We are in a spiritual warfare, but you will win. And I will help you. Thank you again for allowing me to share Seshots Wisdom.